Well, my friends Ilya and Adam have asked me to make a video, and this is some thoughts on story. And I make videos and put them on YouTube, and it's the only thing I give my granddaughters. And I said to them, no more stuff gifts. I'll only give you stories, so what do you want to hear about? And you know, we've kind of forgotten the importance of stories. Everybody's stories are important. Telling stories is like taking the energy from inside us and from all our ancestors and putting it out in the world for anybody to use that can use it. And I've now made hundreds of videos for my granddaughters, and they haven't watched it. That's fine. I don't care, because I know that there's something that hopefully will still be there when they get around to saying, I wonder what that old coot had to say about this. And so it's also got another big benefit. It's helping me die. And that's a strange thing. I've come to realize that, you know, dying is part of life. I'm 82 years old when I'm making this video, and I'm ready to die tomorrow, except I'll be kind of sad because I'm leaving so many messes that I'm trying to clean up. One of the things that happens when we die, and I've been with a lot of people who are dying and have died, is that people review their lives. The Egyptians, you know, they said, "Oh, you've got to let some god, Horus, I think, hear your stories. And you know, did you do okay? Did you bomb out? Did you make a mistake? Did you make amends?" And you got to sort all that stuff out if you're going to have an easier death. And I believe if you're going to carry the good stuff that you generated and the awarenesses that you generated in this lifetime into the next lifetime. And this has probably happened to you, because I don't know if you've experienced something that I noticed. And that was, how do I know how to do this? I know how to do something, and I don't know how I learned it. Where did this come from? Well, I believe that comes from these other lives. And if you're like me, you've had ancestors who've done terrible things, just like yuck. And you've had terrible things, your ancestors have had terrible things done to them. And they died when they were suffering, and they died saying like, oh shit, or something like that, rather than, yes, yes. And so when I tell their stories, I believe that helps their spirits get to be free. And when I think about all the bad things that I've done, and I start having compassion with myself as I tell the stories. So I encourage you to tell your story. You don't know who it's going to be important to. Don't care. Don't try to have an impact. Just be yourself. Tell the truth. No pretending. Just like, here it is. If you feel like pretending, saying, I'm going to pretend to tell a story about that. Or I'm going to tell you a lie that I really like. Because sometimes it's important to tell ourselves lies about what our lives have been like, because it's a bit easier to deal with. Until you get into telling your story. Like, your story is your life. And your story's going to be all that's going to be left after some ashes or some dry bones. But your story is important, because every person on the planet has a gift. And, you know, there's very little encouragement to bring your gift forward. Most people, you don't even know what your gift is. And maybe you'll find out what your gift is if you tell your stories or tell your lies. Okay? And I want to tell you about Ilya and Adam. These guys are so deep in my heart. They're very special men. And they have suffered, and they have known hardship. And their hardship is different from your hardship, but we all have had hardship. And they've taken their hardships and they've They've learned about them, and they've turned them into tools. And that's what telling your story is going to do for your pain and your suffering. And here's a little tip for you. My friend Kovita is a doctor, a medical doctor, and then she became a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. And she was telling me once, because I've had some health problems, she was telling me once, she said, you know, in traditional Chinese medicine, fear lives in your kidneys. But the funny thing is, so does wisdom. And wisdom comes from processing, composting your fear so that you have fear, but it doesn't run you like, you know, a puppet. So tell your stories. They're more important than you think. And thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to maybe help you with my perspectives. And I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing and experiencing and processing your experiences. Okay? Thank you very much. Remember, get over yourself.